Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriasecret.com.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast, a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. So I am Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist. My sister Brooke is not here with me right now. We wanted to share with everybody. We've been doing our Patreon for about 6 months now, and we wanted to share with everybody sort of what our Patreon is like so that people can get a sense of it. So we're going to be sharing with you the first 15 minutes of our weekly bonus. So this weekly bonus is for both the $5 and the $8 tiers. And in the weekly bonus, we talk about whatever's happening in pop culture. Brooke usually talks about a particular case. I might bring in some sort of mental health issue. And then on the $8 feed, you get the weekly bonus episodes, but you also get an exclusive true crime episode and an Ask Us Anything. So here you go. I hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome back, Patreon.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. And we are back with this week's bonus episode. And we've decided to devote this entire bonus to the Menendez brothers. So I'm going to let you take it away, Brooke, because you've got all the research and you've been following. I have not watched the Ryan Murphy documentary. We're recording this before the other documentary comes out, which is coming out on Monday, the 7th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Menendez mania.
It is.
It really is. This is what everyone seems to be talking about. It's all over social media. We have actually been on this for a while. If you go back to episodes 56 and 58, which was, well over a year ago, we talked about the Menendez murder trials. And then we covered that Menendez and Menudo documentary, and that documentary is really what started this ball rolling.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know or don't recall, so Jose Menendez was a executive at Capitol Records, and he was instrumental in signing Menudo to Capitol Records. And he was obsessed with Menudo, quite frankly, because he was a
pedophile,
pedophile. And he, the idea of having access control over these young Latin boys, was just too much for him. And he made that happen. And if you recall, like Menudo, they cycled people out once they got to be too old, They had to be a certain age, they had to have a certain look. And so he was all part of all of that. And the man, I can't remember his name, but the man who was like the manager, Menudo's manager, who also I think was a pedophile. And he was the one who found these boys,
Mm-hmm.
and he would travel with them, and he molested them too.
Yes.
I can't remember his name, but
I'm looking it up now.
yeah. So
Is it, well, who's Edgardo Diaz?
Edgardo, that's him.
Is Edgardo the kid?
No.
Edgardo is the child.
Is the manager. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
it's Roy Rosselló.
right.
Sorry.
Roy Rosselló is the main person in that documentary who tells his story, although there are other past members of Menudo in the documentary. But it's basically his story. And he was, found by this guy Diaz, and he was groomed by him. And eventually he came to the United States and he was taken to the Menendez home
Mm-hmm.
in Beverly Hills, and he was raped by Jose.
Drugged
And raped, many times. And he said he even saw Eric Menendez, at the home. And anyway, through his story and coming out, all of a sudden it was like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
All these years, people have been saying, oh, there's no way that this abuse could have happened, and it's just too far-fetched.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you have someone who's coming out and saying, yeah, he did that to me too. And like I said, there were other men who came forward, and other people like the family members, and, talking about how, so this is not some conspiracy this is real.
Yeah.
And so, Roy Rosselló has, done a statement, a sworn, affidavit under penalty of perjury about everything that had happened. And so that, coupled with a letter that was found, I'm not sure if this letter, it must not have been around during the first trials because it's new evidence.
Okay.
There's a letter from, let me see, was it a cousin? So many notes here. Should have looked at them before I got in here. But anyway, a letter that Eric wrote to, I believe it was his cousin, literally like 2 months before the killings, where he's saying that, he can't take it anymore. Oh, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
So in this letter, he says, I've been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, Andy. Andy's, I think, the cousin. But it's worse for me now. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night I stay up thinking he might come in. He's warned me 100 times about telling anyone, especially Lyle. And so that was a piece of new evidence. And then the declaration from Roy Rosselló is new evidence. So Mark Garrigus and some other attorneys, all working together, submitted what's called a writ of habeas corpus to the court, which basically says, literally it's Latin for, bring the body, bring the person into court. There's new evidence, to reevaluate. Oh, actually, yeah, the letter was 8 months prior to the killings to the cousin. So now this is before the court. And I think as part of the process, the district attorney in Los Angeles County has a chance to respond to the writ. And apparently they have 60 days because there's this timeline. They're talking about 60 days. And there was a press conference or a statement or something from the LA County DA, who is George I want to say Gaston. Gascon. It's close to Gaston. And he has said that they are reviewing the case, they're reviewing the sentence based upon this new evidence. So, and this is actually pretty brave of him to be doing this. He's up for re-election. He's been accused of being soft on crime before. So, but he's doing the right thing and he's looking at it. So there was some changes several years ago in California law, which now allows resentencing of a defendant if they have been rehabilitated, and even for murder. And so Gascon, he says that they have their sentencing unit is going to, they routinely revisit sentences that are out of proportion from what would happen today.
Exactly.
Things change. And there's mitigation information submitted to the DA as well. So all the stuff that Lyle and Eric have done while they have been in prison. So they're looking into this, and I guess they have 60 days. So I guess we'll know before the end of the year.
Yeah. Can I just make? Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say. I mean, what would happen? They could either say, okay, we're going to do a new trial, which they're not going to do. Nobody wants to retry this case. So most likely that they will be resentenced to manslaughter, and they'll get credit for time served, and they'll be released.
Yes, that's the hope.
They've already served far beyond what they would have been sentenced to for voluntary manslaughter. They've been in prison for 35 years.
Yeah, almost. It's enough. Yeah. It's enough. Now, I was just going to say that whole thing with tough on crime. I hate it when people say that. It's like, you know what? We've been saying tough on crime, yet crime still happens. So maybe being more humane and understanding about why someone's doing something, and like the reform part that we really need to be getting to. And this is an example. Like, again, they absolutely need to be, they should have been punished. They needed to be punished, but not for 35 years. And I also heard another story about this. I don't know if it's the same cousin that Eric wrote that note to, but apparently that cousin died in 2003 from a drug overdose or of an overdose or something. Like, that cousin was tortured by all of this, by not saying anything, not doing it and feeling. And apparently that cousin was really tortured for the rest of their life until they died. They didn't mean to. They were suicidal. And I think that they, I can't remember if they had a drug problem or not, but they just they died at a very young age in 2003.
Yeah. Yeah. And mind you, the entire family supports Lyle and Eric. Kitty's sister, Kitty's mother, I believe, when she was alive, her sister's children, everybody supports them, believes the abuse because they saw the weird behavior.
Yeah.
They knew what was going on. They saw I think it was her sister and her kids lived with them for a while in California, in Beverly Hills. And I think that they saw the weird dynamic where every night after dinner, Jose would go to Eric's bedroom and they'd be in there for hours, and no one was even allowed to go up to the second floor when that was going on. You had to stay on the bottom floor. I mean, all this weird stuff. They witnessed it. So when it happened, they were not surprised. They knew what was going on. And in fact, the sister even said that she confronted Kitty about it, and Kitty was just like, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. And everybody knew. Everyone in the family knew.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that was going on too with around the time of this trial is that, and the reason why it should be revisited is because they were convicted because of basically electoral politics 30 years ago. So the judge in this case, their trial started, the second trial, the first trial it was a hung jury. second trial started 8 days after O.J. Simpson was acquitted.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also the judge in this case was the same judge who presided over the McMartin preschool trial. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah. It's very
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah, it was there was a preschool in Southern California where basically I don't remember all the details, but all of these children were saying that they had been abused by the people who ran the preschool, and it turned out to all be false and fake. Like it was not true, and it ruined these people's lives, and it was a big fiasco. And this same judge also presided over the cops in the Rodney King case, their trial, which was also a fiasco.
Yeah. So this guy does not have a good track record. Oh, so surprising that we're letting this guy keep going. You know, it's just a little bit. And like, trust me, if this man, if this was a woman or anybody else, he would have been out. Like, God, how many chances are we going to give this guy? It's ridiculous.
No, he needed a win. Okay.
Yeah, he
needed a win. So what he did was he's like, I'm going to keep all that abuse stuff out. Because at the second trial, he knew that the DA was going to argue this abuse excuse. And they were already arguing before the trial started to keep all the stuff out. So this judge went and he found basically a passage in a published California case about imperfect self-defense, which was their defense when, you kill, you think you're an imminent, you truly do think you're in imminent danger, but you're not, and you kill, but you still get the benefit of the doubt. So it's manslaughter instead of murder. He found some case and twisted, whatever was said in the case to say, oh, well, you're not allowed to have imperfect self-defense. We're not going to do that in this trial. And of course, that was that, because the second jury couldn't consider any of that.
Here's my question. In that moment, once the judge makes that rule, why doesn't Leslie Abramson say, because I would think if I was the attorney at this point, I'm like, oh, crap, I'm in deep trouble, right? I don't think I can, this is a problem. So she can't sit there. Is that just like how she just has to take it? Or can she? All right, that's it. Just a little taste. So if this episode, these last 15 minutes that you've been listening to, if any of this got you interested or excited, or you wanted to explore more, please go check us out at patreon.com/psychlegalpoppodcast. We, like I said at the top of the hour, we do a weekly bonus. This is what you just listened to. And we also have true crime and an Ask Us Anything. And a lot more stuff too. So hopefully you enjoyed this and you're going to go check us out on Patreon. If not, that's cool. Please continue to listen to us here on the free feed. And if Patreon's not your thing and you would like to continue to support us, we always so appreciate 5-star ratings and reviews. They really do help us. And you spreading the word, telling friends, making sure that you're subscribed to the podcast, all that good stuff. There's lots of ways to support us if Patreon's not in the cards for you right now. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Talk to you next time. Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriasecret.com.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellows wherever you get your podcasts.